What if I told you that the first 5 minutes of your morning hold more power than the next 16 hours of your day combined? What if I revealed to you that there are 12 simple statements, 12 powerful declarations that can literally rewire your brain, shift your energy, and transform your entire existence? And what if I shared with you that the most successful people on this planet, the ones who seem to have cracked the code of life, all share this one common ritual that takes less time than brewing your morning coffee? You see, right now, as you're listening to my voice, your brain is in a state of incredible receptivity. The neural pathways that will determine how you show up today, how you interact with challenges, how you perceive opportunities, and how you respond to setbacks are being formed in this very moment. And here's what most people don't understand. Your morning thoughts don't just influence your day, they literally create your reality. I want you to imagine your mind as the most sophisticated computer ever created. But here's the thing about computers. They only process the information they're given. Every single morning, you have the opportunity to program your mental computer with either empowering software or limiting malware. Most people wake up and immediately install the malware. They check their phones, they scroll through social media, they listen to the news. They allow external circumstances to dictate their internal state. But not you, not anymore. Because today, I'm going to share with you the 12 most powerful programming statements you can install in your mental computer every single morning. These aren't just positive affirmations that make you feel good for 5 minutes and then fade away. These are scientifically backed declarations that create measurable changes in your brain chemistry, your hormone production, and your neural architecture. The first powerful thing you need to tell yourself every morning is this: I am the creator of my experience. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about all the things that are outside of your control, all the circumstances you didn't choose, all the challenges you didn't ask for. But listen carefully, because this statement isn't about denying reality. It's about claiming your power within reality. When you declare, I am the creator of my experience, you're not saying that you control everything that happens to you. You're saying that you control everything that happens within you. You're acknowledging that while you can't always choose your circumstances, you always get to choose your response to those circumstances. And your response, not your circumstances, is what creates your experience of life. Think about two people experiencing the exact same event. Let's say they both get stuck in traffic. One person allows their entire day to be ruined. They arrive at work stressed, they snap at their colleagues, they carry that negative energy into every interaction. The other person uses that time to listen to an audiobook, to practice gratitude, to call someone they love. Same circumstance, completely different experience. The difference isn't in what happened to them, it's in what they chose to do with what happened to them. When you start your day by declaring, I am the creator of my experience, you're activating what neuroscientists call the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for executive function, decision-making, and emotional regulation. You're literally telling your brain to shift from reactive mode to creative mode. Instead of being a victim of your circumstances, you become the architect of your responses. The second powerful statement that will transform your mornings is, I choose to see opportunity in every challenge. Now, this isn't about pretending that challenges don't exist or that everything happens for a reason. This is about training your brain to become an opportunity-seeking missile instead of a problem-seeking radar. Your brain has a mechanism called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of it as your brain's filter system. It determines what information gets through to your conscious awareness and what gets filtered out. If you've ever bought a car and then suddenly started seeing that same car everywhere, that's your RAS at work. The car was always there, but now your brain is programmed to notice it. When you declare, I choose to see opportunity in every challenge, you're programming your RAS to scan for possibilities instead of problems. You're training your brain to ask different questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What opportunity is hidden within this challenge? I remember working with an entrepreneur who lost everything in a business failure. For months, he was consumed by anger, resentment, and self-pity. But then he started using this morning declaration. Within weeks, he began to see that failure as the greatest education he could have received. He realized that the experience had given him insights, resilience, and wisdom that no business school could teach. That perspective shift led him to start a consulting business helping other entrepreneurs avoid the mistakes he had made. Today, he's more successful than he ever was before his failure. The third powerful morning statement is, I am grateful for my body and I treat it with respect. Now, you might think this is just about physical health, but it goes much deeper than that. Your relationship with your body is the foundation of your relationship with yourself, and your relationship with yourself determines every other relationship in your life. When you wake up and declare gratitude for your body, you're acknowledging the miracle that you are. Right now, as you listen to these words, your heart is beating approximately 70 times per minute without you having to think about it. Your lungs are processing oxygen. Your brain is firing millions of neural connections. Your immune system is defending you against countless threats. You are a walking, talking miracle of biological engineering. But most people wake up and immediately start criticizing their body. They look in a mirror and focus on what they don't like. They tell themselves they're too fat, too skinny, too old, too tired. They start their day by attacking the very vessel that carries them through life. And then they wonder why they feel disconnected, why they lack confidence, why they struggle with self-worth. When you shift to gratitude and declare your commitment to treating your body with respect, everything changes. You start making different choices. Instead of reaching for processed foods, you choose nourishment. Instead of staying sedentary, you choose movement. Instead of neglecting sleep, you prioritize recovery. These aren't acts of vanity. They're acts of self-respect. And here's what's fascinating. When you treat your body with respect, you start treating everything else in your life with respect. You respect your time. You respect your relationships. You respect your goals. It all starts with that morning declaration of gratitude and commitment to your physical temple. The fourth transformative statement is, I release what I cannot control and focus my energy on what I can influence. This is perhaps one of the most liberating declarations you can make because it frees up enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy that most people waste on things completely outside their control. Think about how much energy you've wasted worrying about other people's opinions, about economic conditions, about political situations, about the weather, about traffic, about things that happened in the past that you cannot change, about futures that may never come to pass. All of that energy, all of that mental bandwidth is being drained from the things you actually can influence. When you start your morning by consciously releasing what you cannot control, you're practicing what psychologists call radical acceptance. You're not being passive or giving up. You're being strategic. You're choosing to invest your limited resources where they can actually make a difference. I want you to think of your energy as a precious currency. You only have so much to spend each day. You can either scatter it across 100 different concerns, most of which you can't control, or you can concentrate it on the few things where you can actually create change. The choice is yours, and making that choice consciously every morning is what separates successful people from those who feel constantly overwhelmed and powerless. The fifth powerful morning declaration is, I am worthy of success, love, and happiness simply because I exist. Now, this might be the most difficult statement for some of you to embrace, because we live in a culture that conditions us to believe that our worth is earned, that it's based on our achievements, our productivity, our performance. But here's the truth that will set you free. Your worth is inherent. You didn't have to earn the right to exist. You don't have to prove your value. You don't have to achieve a certain level of success to deserve love and happiness. These things aren't rewards for good behavior. they're your birthright as a human being. When you start your day by affirming your inherent worth, you're changing the entire foundation from which you operate. Instead of trying to prove your value, you're expressing it. Instead of seeking validation from external sources, you're generating it from within. Instead of operating from a mindset of scarcity and not enoughness, you're operating from abundance and inherent completeness. This shift in self-perception creates a ripple effect in every area of your life. You start setting better boundaries because you know you're worth respecting. You pursue bigger goals because you know you're worth the effort. You attract healthier relationships because you're no longer trying to complete yourself through other people. The sixth morning statement that will revolutionize your life is, I choose to learn and grow from every experience. This declaration transforms you from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And that transformation is the difference between a life of limitation and a life of endless possibility. When you operate from a fixed mindset, you believe that your abilities, intelligence, and talents are static traits. Challenges become threats to your identity. Failures become evidence of your inadequacy. Feedback becomes personal attacks. You spend your energy trying to prove yourself, but when you declare, I choose to learn and grow from every experience, you shift into a growth mindset. Challenges become opportunities to develop new skills. Failures become valuable data for future success. Feedback becomes gifts that help you evolve. You stop trying to prove yourself. This mindset shift literally changes the structure of your brain. When you embrace learning and growth, your brain produces new neural connections. It becomes more plastic, more adaptable, more resilient. You develop what researchers call grit, the ability to persist through difficulties, because you understand that struggle is not evidence of inadequacy, it's the pathway to mastery. I've watched people completely transform their life simply by changing their relationship with failure and challenge. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, they started seeking them out because they understood that growth only happens outside your comfort zone. Instead of being defeated by setbacks, they became curious about what those setbacks could teach them. The seventh powerful morning declaration is, I trust my intuition and make decisions aligned with my authentic self. In a world that's constantly trying to tell you who you should be, what you should want, and how you should live, this statement is an act of rebellion. It's a declaration of independence from external programming and a commitment to internal wisdom. Your intuition is not some mystical force. It's your brain's ability to process vast amounts of information below the threshold of conscious awareness. It's the accumulation of all your experiences, all your learning, all your pattern recognition, synthesized into a gut feeling about what's right for you. But most people have been conditioned to distrust their intuition. They've been taught to rely only on logical analyses, to seek approval from others, to follow conventional paths, even when those paths don't align with their inner knowing. They've learned to prioritize what others think they should do over what they feel called to do. When you start your morning by declaring your trust in your intuition and your commitment to authentic decision-making, you're reclaiming your power. You're saying that you trust yourself to navigate your life. You're acknowledging that nobody knows what's right for you better than you do. This doesn't mean you ignore logic or dismiss good advice. It means you integrate external information with internal wisdom. It means you make decisions that honor both your analytical mind and your intuitive knowing. It means you stop living someone else's life and start living your own. The eighth transformative morning statement is, I attract and create positive relationships by being my authentic self. Relationships are the foundation of human happiness and success. Yet most people approach them from a place of scarcity and fear. They try to be who they think others want them to be. They hide their true selves out of fear of rejection. They settle for connections that drain them rather than elevate them. But when you declare your commitment to attracting and creating positive relationships through authenticity, you're changing the entire game. You're no longer trying to manipulate outcomes through performance. You're not attempting to earn love by being perfect. You're simply showing up as who you really are and trusting that the right people will be drawn to your authentic energy. This approach might seem risky because it means you might face rejection from people who aren't aligned with your true self. But here's what's beautiful about that. Every rejection from someone who doesn't appreciate your authenticity is actually protection from a relationship that would have drained your energy and compromised your integrity. When you operate from authenticity, you naturally repel people who would try to change you, manipulate you, or diminish you. And you naturally attract people who celebrate you, support you, and encourage your growth. The quality of your relationships improves dramatically because they're built on a foundation of truth rather than pretense. The 9th powerful declaration for your mornings is, I am constantly expanding my comfort zone and embracing new possibilities. Your comfort zone is not a place of safety. It's a place of stagnation. Everything you want in life, every dream you have, every goal that excites you exists outside your current comfort zone. And the only way to access those things is to be willing to feel uncomfortable. Most people treat discomfort as a signal to retreat, to play it safe, to stick with what they know. But successful people understand that discomfort is not danger, it's simply unfamiliarity. They've learned to reframe discomfort as excitement, as evidence that they're growing, as a sign that they're moving toward their goals. When you start your day by declaring your commitment to expanding your comfort zone, you're programming your brain to seek growth opportunities instead of avoiding them. You're training yourself to associate discomfort with progress rather than with threat. You're developing what I call comfort zone courage, the willingness to act in spite of uncertainty. This morning declaration changes how you respond to opportunities throughout your day. Instead of automatically saying no to invitations that feel scary, you start asking, what could I learn from this? Instead of avoiding challenges that seem difficult, you start wondering, how could this help me grow? Instead of staying in familiar patterns, you start seeking new experiences that stretch you. The 10th life-changing morning statement is, I'm responsible for my energy and I choose to radiate positivity. Energy is contagious. The energy you bring into every room, every conversation, every interaction doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. You have the power to either elevate the people in your life or drain them. And that choice starts with how you manage your own energetic state. When you take responsibility for your energy, you stop being a victim of your moods and circumstances. You stop letting external events dictate your internal state. You become the thermostat instead of the thermometer, setting the temperature of your experience rather than just reflecting it. This doesn't mean you have to be artificially positive or pretend that challenges don't exist. It means you choose to focus on solutions rather than problems, on possibilities rather than limitations, on what you can create rather than what you can't control. It means you become a source of light in a world that can sometimes feel very dark. People are drawn to positive energy like flowers are drawn to sunlight. When you make the conscious choice to radiate positivity, you become magnetic. You attract opportunities, relationships, and experiences that match your energetic frequency. You become someone people want to be around, work with, and support. The 11th transformative declaration is, I celebrate my progress and honor my journey. We live in a culture obsessed with destinations, with final outcomes, with before and after comparisons. But life is not a destination, it's a journey. And if you can't find joy and meaning in the journey, you'll never find lasting fulfillment in any destination. Most people postpone their happiness until they achieve their goals. They tell themselves they'll be happy when they lose the weight, get the promotion, find the relationship, make the money. But this is a tragic mistake because it makes your well-being conditional on external outcomes that may or may not happen. And even if they do happen, the satisfaction is usually temporary. When you start your morning by celebrating your progress and honoring your journey, you're choosing to find fulfillment in the process of growth rather than just in the outcomes. You're acknowledging that every step forward, no matter how small, is worthy of recognition. You're appreciating the person you're becoming, not just the things you're achieving. This shift in perspective transforms your relationship with goals. Instead of being motivated by what you lack, you become inspired by what you're creating. Instead of being driven by dissatisfaction, you're pulled forward by curiosity and excitement. Instead of measuring your worth by your achievements, you find value in your commitment to growth. The 12th and final powerful morning declaration that will reshape your reality is, I trust in my ability to navigate whatever life presents to me. This statement is the ultimate expression of self-confidence, not the shallow confidence that depends on everything going your way, but the deep confidence that comes from knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. Life is unpredictable. Challenges will arise that you didn't anticipate. Plans will fall through. People will disappoint you. Economic conditions will shift. Health issues may emerge. Technology will disrupt industries. The only constant in life is change, and the only certainty is uncertainty.